Adam here, and welcome to the 6th Edenia installment. We're outside today because we're going to harvest some of the algae that I showed off in a previous video. And not just that, we're also going to be preparing it for regrowth and future harvesting. If you remember from the previous video on this, the algae I have here is Spirulina, and in that video I talked about its many uses and how it could be used as an effective way of capturing carbon. What I'm basically going to do in this video is I'm going to strain off some of the algae into this mason jar here, and basically I have this old tea towel wrapped around it and sealed off by the lid. And basically what's going to happen is some of the water from the medium is going to drain off into the jar and the algae will be collected on top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demo this with my smaller culture, and then I'll get to those big ones. I'll harvest about half, I think. Sorry for the background noise. That should do it. As you can see, the algae is collecting at the top. At the bottom, we're collecting the water. Another important thing to note is that dead matter will begin to accumulate in your culture, and I have some on the lid for this one here, and you're going to want to get rid of that before beginning to grow again. Now here is our wet product. I'm going to let this dry, and now we'll get on to actually prepping these for regrowth. Now for refilling these. Here you can see I have a concentrated solution of fertilizer that came with the starter kit for my algae. You can use whatever fertilizer you want, but the key thing here is that you need nitrogen, phosphorus and iron as the key nutrients for Spirulina. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to each of the bottles now. And afterwards I'm going to top them off with some fresh water. Another thing to point out is that you want to keep the pH above 10 in these algae environments, as they really like an alkaline environment. A way to do this if you're making your own fertilizer is to use just baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, although a lot of pre-mixed fertilizers that are tuned for algae already contain a pH raising chemical. Now something you may notice is that even after dilution, these algae mediums are still fairly concentrated. In fact, I was probably a little bit conservative with my harvest here. Anyway, that's something I will keep note of for the future. Anyway, it's time to get these back on the pump and get them bubbling again. Hi, so this is the day after and this is our yield. It's not much, so I'm not really going to miss it. But anyway, I just wanted to show off a couple of its properties. While I was clearing up yesterday, I took a taste of it, and it has its characteristic nutty flavour, which some may like, some may find disagreeable. But anyway, this is an edible form of algae. There are many supplements made out of this. Some people even put it in their like smoothies and such. But foodstuffs aren't the only use of Spirulina. What I've done here is I've taken the jar, I've capped it, and I've evacuated it of most oxygen using my hand vacuum pump. Now, under a vacuum and under very high temperatures, what should happen here is the algae should undergo a reaction that converts it into essentially oil. Now, that reaction is called pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is the reaction that happens when substances are heated in an atmosphere to very high temperatures, which causes them to decompose into other products. And this is what I'm going to demonstrate now. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to preheat the glass, since it's a glass container. If I heat it too much too quickly, it will crack. And so I'm going to sort of preheat the jar first, and then I'm going to crank up the heat and see if I can turn this into some oil. Right, that's hot enough. Time to crank up the heat. After about 5 minutes of heating, what we have here is a blackish tarry substance. So if you put a match to it, it would most likely burn. Unfortunately, I'm not able to test that safely at the moment, but maybe it's something I will test myself in the future. Anyway, that's all I wanted to demonstrate for you today, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been the 6th Edenia installment. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here, subscribe and turn on notifications and check up on me once in a while, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye for now.